Okay, it's time to talk about the Barbarian again. This is a series of videos I've been doing on the Barbarian for a while now, and we are going to be covering Relentless Rage. So if you're not familiar with my videos and you're watching it for the first time, comments and questions, stick them in the chat box. Do that now. If you do that near the end, you might not get them responded to, but I will respond to everything after the presentation. If you haven't normally watched my videos in the past, the live stream usually has sort of a setup. So if you look down in the description, you'll find the start time down in the description, so you can skip past all of the setup and my general introduction. Okay, we should be just about ready. We are starting early today. I'm going to try and get this done reasonably quickly and cover all the things that need to be discussed. So we will start. Hi, welcome to How to D&D. My name is Fred Wheeler, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5e, and today we're talking about how to play Dungeons & Dragons 5e, and we're covering the Barbarian and their Relentless Rage. So pain is just not it's a state of mind, really. Pain is just a state of mind for a Barbarian. They don't really need to worry about pain because they can just push on through it. So if you turn to page 49 of the Player's Handbook, you'll find details on Relentless Rage. And I'm going to read you through that section, and then I'm going to explain all the sort of nuances of Relentless Rage you might come across when you're playing the game. So first off, starting at 11th level, your rage can keep you fighting despite your grievous wounds. So if you drop to 0 hit points while you're raging and don't die outright, that's the important thing to notice. It's not just drop to 0 hit points while you're raging, but you have to be raging, you drop to 0 hit points, but you can't die outright. That is the important thing to pay attention to. You can make a DC 10 Constitution saving throw. If you succeed, you drop to 1 hit point instead. So instead of dropping to 0 hit points, you would drop to 1 hit point. But you must be successful on that Constitution saving throw. Each time you use this feature after the first time, the DC or difficulty class increases by 5. When you finish a short or long rest, the DC resets to 10. Okay, so that's the basics in the book and how it's supposed to work. And there are a few things that I came across when I was researching Relentless Rage that I thought you might find useful, and we're going to discuss them right now. So first off, you can choose to use this feature. It's not automatic. That's one of the things to realize. You actually have to pick up a 20-sided dice, and you need to actually roll that dice, okay, and add your Constitution modifier. Sorry, your Constitution saving modifier, the Constitution saving modifier to the dice roll. Once you add those two numbers together, if it comes to 10, you're successful. And of course, as the book states, it gets more difficult the more times you attempt it, and you need to take a short or long rest to reset that to 10. So it's not automatic. You decide whether you do it or not. So you could choose to fail, or you could choose not to use your Relentless Rage if you wanted to. I don't know why you would, but you can. Relentless Rage and Relentless Endurance for the half-orc can both be used. Okay, they can both be used, and you can use them in any order you decide. It's completely up to you. You could use your Relentless Endurance first and then fall back on your Relentless Rage if you wanted to. It's totally up to you. Now, Relentless Endurance works a little bit differently to Relentless Rage, so just bear that in mind. Make sure you check that section first. So that's 2 chances to stay in the fight without the difficulty class of your Relentless Rage increasing. It's pretty good, particularly if you take the half-orc. The Barbarian does not fall prone when they drop to 0 hit points. So if you're going to be using Relentless Rage, your Barbarian does not fall over flat on their face or on their back or anything like that. Roll your Constitution saving throw, if you are successful, you're on 1 hit point, you never fell prone. So if you're worried about that being an aspect of the game where you might be using up movement so you could move around something or move somewhere else or do something else, that isn't a factor. So you're not prone. So don't get stuck on that one. There are a few game mechanics that drop a character to 0 hit points, but they're not classified as instant death. And they can often be sort of viewed as, well, that's not dying outright, is it? And I'll cover some of those in a second, but an example would be the Mind Flayer's Extract Brain ability, which essentially, once you're reduced to 0 hit points, it actually states in that particular Extract Brain feature that it kills the target, okay? It kills the target. So if you have your brain sucked out, unfortunately, Relentless Rage isn't going to help you. You are dead. You can't. You've been killed outright, but you haven't used the instant death feature that's usually associated with dying outright. So that means the concept of being killed outright will not always be dependent on fulfilling the requirements of instant death. That's when you take damage that is equal to your maximum hit points, but it puts you into the negative below 0. Or there might be a situation that doesn't involve getting a chance to make death saving throws. Okay, that's always a possibility. There's so many exceptions to the rule, so many special rules for monsters and other things in the game that would supersede Relentless Rage, and one of them would be the disintegration spell. When you're reduced to 0 hit points, you are a pile of ash. There's no way Relentless Rage is going to work if you're a pile of ash. Something like the Wraith's Life Drain feature, it's not going to work because that kills you. The White's Life Drain feature also, something like the Vampire Spawn or the Vampire Bite, that has an aspect to it that when you are reduced to 0, you are dead. It's sucked all the blood out of you, so you can't continue. And it actually states in those features that you are killed. So you're not dying, you are dead. So just a couple of things to point out so that you don't get confused. Now that covers everything that I have on this particular feature for today. So if you want to start asking questions in the chat box, this is a good time to start doing that. If you found this video helpful or informative in any way, please share and like the video. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, then how about subscribing to my channel? There is more content like this coming, and I've already done quite a lot of content already. Also hit the bell button. That won't just subscribe you to my channel so you can tell that I have done videos, but it'll let you know or notify you when I am live and when I'm doing, when I've published a new video essentially. I don't do Patreon, so if you want to support my channel, I don't do Patreon, but watching my video right now has supported my channel. So I find that really, really helpful, and thank you for watching my video. I do have affiliate links down in the description where you can buy stuff online, and I get a small commission, and you pay exactly the same price as you would whether you go through my link or not, and you don't even have to buy the thing that it's linked to, which is super cool. Also too, if you have questions or feedback, or you disagree with me, or there's something I have missed and needs to be discussed, this is the time to start typing that stuff into the chat box, the live chat box. Otherwise, if you're not part of the live stream, you can put your questions down in the comments section. Any feedback, any experiences, any situations I might not have covered that you might want me to elaborate on. There wasn't a huge amount in Sage Advice. I have covered pretty much everything I could find. And I think there was only 2 key features that Sage Advice addressed. Other than that, we are all done, and I will say till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Where is the 20? I can't find it. Let's just put it down. There, big 20 dice. Okay, there are no questions, no feedback, so I think that's a good place to finish for today, and I'll say goodbye to everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow, and I think we'll be covering what is it, Persistent Rage for the Barbarian. We'll cover the Persistent Rage feature. should be a reasonably short video too. If you want to follow me on social media, YouTube is one way. I am on Twitter. I'm also on Facebook, so you can find House D&D on Facebook. There's a Facebook group you can join. I'm also on Twitch TV, but I don't use that very often. I would recommend using something like Facebook or YouTube. It's probably the best place to get in touch with me. Okay, and I will see you